Hi everyone, it's me, Arielle, and it's Wednesday Warriors, and this week is a special week because it's a holiday week, and we're all going to be talking about stressful times during Christmas and other holidays, and how it can be hard for people with eating disorders. And today I'm going to talk about food, because obviously with people who have eating disorders, that's where they struggle the most around the holidays a lot of the time, and I'm going to suggest a couple of things and just go from there. I wrote something for my blog 2 Christmases ago about the holidays, and I thought I would just read you a little bit of that because it really has to do with this topic, and I hope you can find some good in it. So if it looks like I'm reading, it's because I am. It was a letter to my blog readers, and I said, "The holiday season can be a tough season. It's often full of family, food, and obsessive behavior. I'm writing this to let you know I understand. The holidays can make you squirm and wake up full of dread each morning. But you know what? They're not supposed to. That's not what the holidays are all about. They're about 1,000 things, and none of those things should be negative or unhealthy or depressing. The question is, how do you get yourself into the right mindset? You have to psych yourself up for it. You have to be positive and remain positive despite all the negativity you might feel closing in on you. You have to worry about you and not about others. I know it's hard. Many times those others are your family or your close friends, and you feel conflicted or manipulated or overwhelmed. Those feelings are okay and completely natural. All feelings are, because they're what you feel, and they're honest. But you've got to do what's best for yourself, and sometimes that means thinking only of yourself at a given point in time. I know it might sound strange, me telling you to think of yourself during the holidays, when everything else out there promotes goodwill toward the less fortunate and giving to others besides yourself. But you have to consider that if you are first good to yourself, you will much more easily be able to be good to others. You have to start with yourself and go from there. It sounds so simple and so difficult at the same time, doesn't it? I once had an aunt comment on what I was eating at a family holiday dinner. This was several years ago, probably 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. It was when I was doing pretty badly with my anorexia, nowhere near, the way I am anymore. This was pretty far in the past, but I had put some things on my plate, and I had handed it to her so she could add something to it that was nearest to her. "That's not your plate, is it?" she'd said. I just looked at her. "I mean, you don't eat all that, do you?" she asked me. It didn't matter why she said it, or what she meant by it. It was too late. The damage had been done. She'd gotten the message from my silence that I was shocked she'd say such a thing to me, for at the time I was very, very thin. But when my plate was handed back to me, I didn't feel like eating. I'm sure she had no idea what she'd done to me with that short conversation, but there was a lot wrong with that conversation. For one, she'd drawn attention to my eating. Second, she'd commented on the amount. Third, she was clearly surprised, which made me question myself and what I was ready to eat. In short, that small incident completely ruined my day, and if I'd had the right mindset at the time, it wouldn't have. Now, I know there are situations you will all deal with over the holidays that will be worse than that, or even less severe than that will irk you, upset you, and make you miserable. This was just an example. The point is, don't let it upset you. As usual, it's easier said than done, but all you have to do is try. Just try. When something upsetting happens, or you see or hear or feel something that triggers you to do whatever self-destructive or eating disordered behavior you typically fall back on, don't do it. Don't let it get the better of you. Don't give in to pain and sadness and frustration. Use your anger or your emotions to build yourself up. Do what's healthy and what's good for you. Be good to yourself. Think of yourself. Don't think of someone else's comments or the way someone else looks. Don't think of all the food and how you shouldn't eat it. Don't think of the obsessive behaviors that may have become natural to you. Think of you and the child you once were that is still a part of you, and give her or him what she or he wants. You're allowed to indulge. You are allowed to nurture. You are allowed to feel good. You are allowed to be happy. Really. Write a note to yourself. That's what I suggest for holiday gatherings, holiday dinners. A short note, a long note, a sentence, or a few words, whatever you want. But write a note to yourself that's positive, that quickly reiterates that you can get through things. Maybe it will say, "You can do it. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for." Or maybe it'll simply say, "It's okay." But whatever it is, write it to yourself on an actual piece of paper and keep it and put it in your coat pocket or your purse or your wallet or something you almost always have with you. And when you're dealing with some holiday stress or you feel overwhelmed, take it out and briefly look at it. Reassure yourself. You will thank yourself later. Maybe later that day, maybe later that month, maybe later that year, or maybe even years from now, but you will thank yourself. I think it's really cool to have a short little note to yourself in your pocket so that even if you're at the table having the holiday dinner with your family, you can pull it out quickly and just look at it even under the table just for a few seconds. Sometimes you don't even have to look at it to read it. Just kind of putting your hand in your pocket and feeling it with your fingers and knowing it's there. And knowing that that note to yourself says, "It's okay." Or that note to yourself says, "You can get through this." Whatever it is you write on that piece of paper, having it with you can give you strength as long as you go to it when you're having those stressful moments. If you choose not to go to something that will help you cope, if you choose to do the wrong thing, if you choose to act on behaviors, then that's what makes everything so hard. You have to really be strong for just 1 second in order to get through things. A second is all it takes to have your mind switch from bad to good. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be full of sunshine and rainbows and hopping around with a big smile on your face, but it can be the difference between obsessing and having an awful holiday season and tolerating a holiday season and actually being able to enjoy yourself. Do you really want to have a miserable holiday season? Or one filled with grief, obsessing, nervousness, anxiety, pain? Of course you don't. And you don't deserve to. You deserve all the good things the holidays can bring. I know you can't get rid of all those bad feelings and behaviors in one day, or in one holiday season, but you can start. Start now. Start with this holiday. Best of luck to you. This is my Christmas tree, and you can see our stockings behind it, but I just want you all to know that you're wonderful people, and you can have a great holiday if you decide to have a great holiday, and I hope you will. I'm standing here by my Christmas tree, and I hope you all have a wonderful and beautiful holiday season and a wonderful Christmas this week if you celebrate Christmas. I know I do, and I will be having a very good time. I fully intend to. Believe in yourselves, and don't give up. See you next week.